Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, we are from group 5. We'll present about a research problem. Okay, the first material will be explained by Jeliana. To Jelly, time is yours.
Okay, thanks to moderator. I'm Jeliana. I will explain about definition of the identification of research problem. Problem identification is the process and result of the problem identification of problem inventory. In other words, problem identification is one of the research process that is arguably the most important among other process. The research problem will determine the quality of a study, even if it also determine whether an activity can be called research or not. According to Norbucco 28, research problem in general can be found through literature studies or through field observation, namely observation, surveys, and so on. Furthermore, identifying the problem is looking for the most relevant and interesting problem to be researched. NIMI 2011. Thus, from some of the opinions above, it can be concluded that problem identification is the process and result of the problem identification or problem inventory. In other words, problem identification is one of the most important research process among other process. Okay, that's all from me. I give it back to moderator.
Thanks to Jeliana. Next is Hanum. To Hanum, time is yours.
Thank you, moderator. Okay, I will explain about identify the problem to be researched. According to Sukandarumudi 2002, the causative factors a problem and cause other problems. But what are identified factors and problems that are affordable and controlled by researchers only? Problems are usually related to a condition that threatens, disrupts, hinders, makes it difficult, which indicates a gap between expectation and reality. For example, problems that cause low performance are identified because of learning facilities, low teacher competence, poor work culture, less conducive work climate, and low leadership skill that cause low performance. According to Suryana 2010, to identify the problem properly, the researcher needs to conduct a preliminary study of the object under study, make observation and interview with various sources, so that all problems can be identified. Based on the various problems that have been identified, the relationship between one problem and another is then presented. Furthermore, the problem can be expressed in the form of a variable. Thus, the problem to be studied is where the position is among the problems to be studied. What problems are suspected to have a positive and negative effect on the problem under study? That's all from me. Thank you. I give it back to moderator.
Okay, thanks to Hanum. The next will be explained by Reski Meliza. To Reski Meliza, time is yours.
Okay, thanks to moderator. I will explain about the scope of research problems. Definition of scope of research problems. The scope of this research is very important because it can affect the validity of a study. In general, the scope of the problem is very important to be determined before reaching the next discussion stage, according to Nazir 2017. And according to Set Yosari 2012, basically the purpose of the scope of this research is to define the scope of study and what will be focus of the research. In addition, the research must also define what will not be discussed and what will be discussed in study. According to Sugiyona 2011, the scope of study will describe the extent to which a study will be explored and determine the parameters of the research to be operated. So the scope of the research problem is method for limiting the knowledge being studied, which is the focus of research. Limitation of problem in research. Limitation of problem in research are follows. First, limitation of problems in quantitative research method, and second, limitation of the problem using qualitative research methods, and third, limitation of the problem using the classroom action research method, and last but not least, problem limitation using R&D method.
Okay, thank you to Reski Meliza. Next tutorial will be explained by me about research problem formulation. First, definition of research problem formulation. According to WAJD 2017, the main problem found is called the problem formulation. The problem formulation is usually very short and concise, no more than one paragraph, and consists of bullet point, usually in the form of 2 to 3 questions. Meanwhile, according to Surya Sumantri in RIDA 2017, state that the formulation of the research problem is a specific statement about the scope of the problem to be studied by completing the question to be answered. So it can be concluded that the formulation of research problem is the point containing the question to be answered or which will be studied. Second is the importance of problem formulation. Writing the problem formulation is very important in research. They aim to guide the determine the direction of research, determine the method and theory to be taken, which are then used as the theoretical basis in research, and make it easier to researcher to determine sample and population in research, according to WAJD 2017. In essence, the formulation of research problem plays an important role in the research to be carried out, because the formulation of the problem become the basis or a reference for conducting and determining the direction of the research. In addition, the formulation of the problem will also determine the result of the study. Okay, here are our references, and that's all material from group 5. We move to the next session, Q&A to all of my friends who want to ask to our group. Please write your name in the chat box. All right, if no one, that's all from group 5. Thank you for your attention and sorry for our mistake. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.